Now I know what you're thinking, why am I wearing a suit jacket for this vlog? Well, that's because this is the first of a new series I'm doing called Film Talk, where funny enough I'll be talking about films. If it was about sports, that would just be very misleading. For this first episode I'm going to talk about some of my favourite films and briefly why I like them so much. So first of all, the Dark Knight trilogy by Christopher Nolan. A trilogy of films that I think are, they're good, but they're not super amazing, and I totally don't like them enough to buy the Blu-ray box set. Because, geez, who'd do a thing like that, right? Yeah. Damn it. Okay, they're probably my favourite films ever, but I guess why I like them so much is just the dark tone throughout all of the films, especially the second and third one, and I guess just the overall goodness of them. By that I mean directing, cinematography, writing, acting, casting, just literally everything. And of course it's Batman, or as I should say, Batman! If you've not seen them, then you are a fool, and you should watch them. I think really it's just very fair to say that I'm a fan of Christopher Nolan. I really like two of his other films, The Prestige and Inception. But before this descends into a vlog all about Christopher Nolan films, I'm just going to move on to the next film that I really like. Moon! Not really expecting many people to have heard of it, but it's really good. For the most part, it's a thriller. It came out in 2009, directed by Duncan Jones, and it features Sam Rockwell and Kevin Spacey. I don't really want to say too much of what it's about, as this isn't really a review or anything, but as you may have guessed, it's set on the moon, and centres on Sam Rockwell as the only person stationed at a helium-3 mining station. But is he the only person? I really like the style of it and how it's all shot. It's very simplistic, and perhaps some they may then think it's quite boring, but to me it's very stylish. If you haven't seen it, then I think you should, because it's good. Moving on, while I think the Lord of the Rings trilogy on the whole is super good, I think my favourite is probably Return of the King. Not by much though, it probably just edges out in front of Two Towers, but the reason why I think it's my favourite of the Lord of the Rings films is just how epic it is. And by that I mean in length, it's a very long film, and by what happens in it. So many things happen, major things as well. And also just that it's the end of the trilogy, it's the climax. The film and the first two, of course, build up towards the last 45 minutes, and it does not disappoint. I mean, I've not read the book, so I don't know what got left out, but I think every time I've watched it, the ending has always made me choke up. And if that's not a sign of how good a film is, or the trilogy as well for that matter, then I don't know what is. For the last film I'm going to talk about, I thought I'd end with a comedy, because even though thriller is my favourite genre without a doubt, everyone loves a laugh. Sometimes, not all the time. Stop laughing! But anyway, Anchorman! Not everyone may like the type of comedy that Anchorman is, but for me, Anchorman is just entertainment all the way through. The first time I watched it, the fight scene between all the news teams had me laughing the hardest a film itself has ever made me. Actually, more the fight scene and then the scene straight after it in Ron Burgundy's office, because, that got out of hand fast. And of course the sequel is coming out in December, so that should be great fun. I'm not entirely sure what noise that was I've just made, but if the sequel is half as good as the first one, then it should still be great fun. So while I for certain haven't talked about every film that would be on my list of my favourite films, I don't really want this to go on for like 10 minutes and all of you just get bored. But who knows, you might have gotten bored anyway. But I'm just going to end it here, and I hope you guys have liked this new series I'm doing. If you have, please leave a like, and feel free to comment what some of your favourite films are. It'd be great to hear from some of you guys. So I think that's pretty much it. Bye!